Who was your favorite school teacher?
Miss Jonas Johnson. She was my English teacher in high school.
Okay. What was it like to grow up when you were young?
Well, when I was little, I lived in Indiana and in a big town, Purdue. I went to a school that had 1,000 kids in it. And then I moved to Nebraska and went to a one-room school in the country. There were eight kids in that school. It was different.
Okay. How did you spend your school holidays?
We usually went to my Grandma Johnson's in Indiana. And then when I moved to Nebraska, I lived with my grandma and grandpa, so we didn't do anything special.
Why did you choose the job you did?
Well, I always wanted to be a nurse, and I was married for a long time and raised a family, and my husband died, and I decided to go back to school to be a nurse, so now I'm a nurse.
Okay. Where have you traveled in the world?
Well, I haven't traveled too far. I've been, Idaho is the farthest west, Missouri is the farthest south, Ohio is the farthest east. Not far, really.
Okay. How did you feel, for example, when you first saw an airplane?
Well, like I said, I lived in Indiana. Purdue is a big town, and I was used to seeing big airplanes flying over. I don't think nothing special, really.
Okay. Tell me what it was like for children when the parents were around my age.
Say that again.
Tell me what it was like for children when my parents were around my age.
When your parents were your age? Well, that was, let's see, when your parents were your age, TV was just getting popular. Color TV was just coming in. They mainly played outdoors with the kids. There weren't computer games or anything like that. They played in the park, roller skated, things like that.
Okay. Did you ever witness a great historical event? And if you did, tell me about it.
No, not really.
Where did you grow up, and how has it changed?
I grew up in Lafayette, Indiana. It was a big city then, and it's probably bigger now. It just got bigger.
Okay. How many times have you moved within this country?
Oh, I moved out here to Nebraska from Indiana when I was 9. After my husband died, I moved to Idaho, then I moved to Colorado, then I moved back to Nebraska.
Okay. What caused you to move each time?
I already answered that.
Okay. What size farms, towns, cities, and suburbs have you lived in?
Lafayette, Indiana is about the size of Omaha. It was then. Then I moved to Cairo, Nebraska, which had 400 people. Grand Island, which had about 20,000 at the time. And I did live on a farm with my grandparents. They had like half a section, and they farmed with horses, no tractors, just horses.
Okay. Are you a member of a certain religious group?
Well, I'm a Catholic church.
Okay. Which American wars have you lived through?
I was a little girl at the end of the Second World War. I was a teenager during the Korean War, and married and had a family during the Vietnam War.
Okay. Are there clubs, organizations, or other activities you have engaged in during your life that you have been very important to you?
No, not really.
Okay. How did you meet the person you married?
I was babysitting for a lady, and he lived next door. And that's how we met.
Okay. While you were growing up, what size and kind of house did you live in?
I lived with my grandparents on a farm. Well, before I lived with my grandparents, I lived in about a regular sized house with my parents, and then I lived with my grandparents on a farm in a small little house. And my uncle lived on the same farm in a big house.
Okay. What has been the highlight of your life?
My grandchildren,
What has been special in your life?
my grandchildren.
That's it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
This is my grandma, McNulty, and I'm gonna ask her some questions. Who was your favorite school teacher?
It was a Mr. Harold Shepard. I think it was 7th grader.
Okay. What was it like to grow up when you were young?
That's a good question. Well, my father left my mother. There was 5 of us kids when I was 2. The oldest was 12. So we had a very meager living. We were on welfare. We got commodities of all kinds. All kinds of dried foods, canned foods, even blankets, dresses. In the summertime we'd get fresh fruits and citrus fruits. But and Mother raised a big garden, canned everything she could. That's about the way we were raised.
How did you spend your school holidays?
I don't know, playing, I guess.
Okay. Why did you choose the job you did?
I don't know.
Where have you traveled in the world?
Oh, Colorado and South Dakota. That's, well, Wyoming. That's the size of my travels.
Okay. Are you a member of a certain religious group?
No.
Okay. How many times have you moved within this country?
Well, different towns, only 3 towns. But I've lived in a lot of houses in the 3 towns.
Okay. What caused you to move each time?
Better house.
Okay. What size farms, towns, cities, and suburbs have you lived in?
What kind? What size? Well, the first one was about 500 people. That's where I was born. And we moved to, well, it was about 3,000, I suppose. Then I was 12. And then when I was 18, I came to Cozad.
Okay. What American wars have you lived through?
World War II, Korean, Vietnam, and this one.
Okay. Where were you changed? Were you changed in any way as a result of this war?
No, I don't think I was.
Okay. How did you meet the person you married?
Well, I was in a coffee shop on a rainy night, and he was with his cousin, and he made her come in and ask me if I wanted to ride home. And that's how I met him.
What did you experience in life?
Like what?
Just like anything you like.
I wouldn't know how to answer that.
Okay, what has been the highlight of your life? You can say your grandchildren if you want to.
Well, I suppose it's my children and grandchildren, really.
Okay. Did you ever witness a great historical event? And if you did, tell me about it.
Landing on the moon.
Where did you grow up and how has it changed?
Where did I grow up? Western Nebraska. The town where I was born is, well, I don't know, I guess it hasn't really changed all that much. I think it's probably smaller.
Okay. How did you celebrate my mom's birthday?
When she was born, by being very tired.
Okay. Can you remember some of the kids who came to your first birthday party? Or have you seen them since?
I don't remember that I ever had a birthday party.
Okay. I think that's all. Thank you.